Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, what's happening? It's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the massive rally that just took place on Bitcoin and seems to be giving quite a lot of hope to the bulls. Overnight, Bitcoin briefly rallied above $30,000 in a meteoric rally that indicates that maybe, just maybe, we have begun the next phase of our movement to the upside. And it's so exciting too, because over the last month and a half, we've been discussing the likelihood that Bitcoin would first fall back down to 28,545, which it did. It hit almost exactly 28,545 yesterday, the day before yesterday. And from there, Bitcoin has gone on a huge rally, trading straight through one of the buy and long setups that we gave you yesterday that you would have made money on if you had have taken. And we also rallied all the way up to $30,000, much higher than where that drop began, indicating that we saw what many people call a whipsaw formation. I colorfully call it a Venus flytrap formation because I think it's a cooler name. And Bitcoin has shown us that it is exceptionally bullish right now. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about that drop, that rally, and where the market may be going next, running through our system of setting up trades and investments we call the 3 Ps. We look at the market first through the perception stage. We try and understand what's happening in the market, what is the market, where is the market, kind of the 5 whys and the how, what's going on in crypto. Then we look at the prediction phase. We make a prediction about where Bitcoin's going to go, and then we start setting up a plan for how we will capitalize on any movements that Bitcoin may take from there. We're going to run straight through those today. Looking at Bitcoin, we'll also potentially, if we have time, we haven't been having time lately because we've had so much to cover. If we have time, we'll be going through some altcoins as well. Love to hear your feedback on whatever altcoins you'd like for me to cover. I ran a speed test before we started today. Internet upload is 700 megabits per second, so we should be good. If anybody was here yesterday and seeing some issues with the internet, for some reason we were getting 0.08 upload. It seems like the building has fixed that, so thank you very much to the building for correcting that issue. At least at the moment, it seems like the internet is going to be just fine. We can stream in 16K if we want because we've got ridiculously fast upload speeds here at the office. We've got Crypto Mini Bike in chat joining us as our first commenter today. Said, morning everyone. Joe Bollier is extremely... Joe Bollier is very early in chat. He was the second one today. Said, good morning, Jeb, and hello. Hello to you, my friend. Mike Lowry's in chat. Said, what's up? Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well, Mike Lowry. Rave Song Record said, right now, Jeb. Right now. Robbie G in chat said, good morning, my fellow Jebaricans. Jebaricans. Salute. Haven't ever heard that one before. That's a new one. You can get you get brownie points for originality on that one, I guess. Philly Scales 1428 in chat. G. Rokes? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, my friend. 504 in chat. We see you quite a bit in chat. Thank you so much. Said, morning, y'all. Morning, Jeb. Top of the morning to you. Mike Lowry in chat. Joker's Wild. Grand Roofing Incorporated in chat. And oh my, it's oh my. Good to see you. Hope everyone is doing well. All right. I am very excited because I was able to have a wonderful Zoom call with someone yesterday. I'm going to give you very, very obscure details because I'm not going to tell you exactly what it was just yet, but you will be finding out relatively soon, I believe within the next week, what that Zoom call was, and you guys are going to have access to it as well. And I am so very excited because I have a launch, an announcement coming up relatively soon. I'm not going to tell you the day. We kind of penciled in a date, but we're not totally certain of what date we're going to announce this, but it's coming soon. Obviously, the first announcement we made was that I have the new set up, and so we're going to be working on building a schedule for those FinSoft Friday financial sovereignty content videos that you guys love so much. That video didn't get a ton of views, but the people that watched it, oh man, that was the best reception we have seen on a YouTube video probably ever compared to the number of people that watched it, the people that did watch that video on Friday, I'm sorry, absolutely loved it. And so we're really excited to continue making content like that and to continue making content here on YouTube with the crypto. I've got a lot of interesting ideas for how we can go about making cryptocurrency educational content, but I'm very excited to go ahead and jump straight on into this stream today. So let's go ahead and do it. I do want to apologize first also for being late today. We had a little bit of a run-in with a little bit of a how shall I say, an incident with our 2-year-old this morning that involved having to run back to the house real quick. So I apologize for that. Sometimes being a parent takes over, and that was this morning. So I do apologize for being 5 minutes late. I really, really don't like to do that. Sometimes we have to do that. We've got 2 very young children, but I do my very best to make sure I'm here on time. So I do apologize for that 5-minute delay. Let's go ahead and jump on to CoinMarketCap. We'll start with Bitcoin right now trading at 29,300. It's up 1.51% over the last 24 hours, up 0.15% over the last 7 days, up 2% over the last 90 days, and up 76.85% year to date. Very excited about that growth on Bitcoin and on the rest of the cryptocurrency market over the last couple of days here. Bitcoin currently sitting at a $570 billion market capitalization and also sitting right around the 48.5% market dominance range. Very excited to see that growth here on Bitcoin over the last several months, and I do believe that's going to translate into a lot of bullishness this year. Looking at the Bitcoin market, we can see what happened yesterday that we were so excited about. As you know, yesterday we discussed that there were 2 possibilities. Either Bitcoin could go down or Bitcoin could go up. But let's start off with analyzing what our longer-term prediction has been on Bitcoin for the last couple of months. That theory that we've been working under over the last week or so, over the last month and a half or so, has been this. More or less, ever since we attempted to break here above $31,500, and we were not able to. We talked about setting up this trade if we were to break up there. We didn't go through that trade. Bitcoin rejected, and it seemed likely that Bitcoin was going to fail to get above 31.5. So essentially, ever since about the 12th, 13th of July, we've been under the prediction that Bitcoin was going to first correct all the way down to 28,545 and then bounce and rally back up above $30,000 during the month of August. So far, and I don't mean to pat myself on the back here, but this is the power of technical analysis. So far, that prediction has been spot on. If we look at what happened over the last couple of days, you can see that Bitcoin did pull back to exactly 28,545. Not only did it pull back to that range, we pulled back to within $20 or $30 of it. Here on the Bitstamp chart, Bitcoin pulled back to 28,576, which was $31 higher than our initial prediction. Again, Bitcoin had to drop $3,000 to get down here, and we got within $30 on the prediction. Here on the index over here, you can see right here, we dropped down to 28,648, dropped very, very close to it. A couple of other charts to just kind of look at right here on the Bitfinex chart, we dropped down to 28,635, so we're about $90 away. So Bitcoin dropped to pretty much the exact zone that we estimated that it would. Now, we've been doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin on, I believe I was doing TA on this chart yesterday. Bitcoin has been kind of throwing us for a loop lately because we had this whipsaw formation. I call it a Venus flytrap formation. Again, I just think that's an interesting name for it, where Bitcoin dropped and then it rallied farther than it originally had. Then we got a little bit confused there yesterday because Bitcoin seemingly was bullish, but then it dropped all the way down to 28,545. And actually, it dropped even lower than that, down to 28,477 here on the Coinbase chart. But then Bitcoin put into motion last night an even larger whipsaw formation. We had a little miniature one right here, which was an early warning sign. We started to flip bullish, and then we got a little bit confused because Bitcoin set a new lower low, and then Bitcoin did the exact same thing, but 10 times bigger this time. Bitcoin went through a major correction, dropping $1,000. We started at 29,526. We dropped $1,000 down to 28,430 range, and then we were able to rally all the way up to $30,030. Bitcoin went through a rally of $1,460 in the span of 10 hours. That's 5% in 10 hours. Remember yesterday, we made a prediction because we were getting a little bit confused what the market was telling us because it was giving us contradicting information. We made a prediction that more than likely Bitcoin would correct. That prediction didn't end up coming true. Instead, Bitcoin bounced and rallied. But remember, the prediction is not what's important. What's important is the planning. And so we set up a long trade here that would have ended up making profit. As you can see, we set up this long trade as our backup plan, and it actually would have gotten triggered twice. Let's go ahead and look at what would have occurred if you used this exact trade. Again, I don't encourage you to use our exact trade setups, but if it did occur, what would have happened? We had an entry price here because I like to look at what we've talked about, even if it's not exactly perfect, even if it's not always going to turn out perfectly. I like to show you guys what would have occurred. We had an entry at 28,998. I try and be very careful about where these numbers are in case you go against my wishes, and you do take these exact trades. Bitcoin went through a rally of 0.12%. What I teach is that you want to use no more than a 0.1% trailing stop loss. So if you had entered the trade on this candle wicks, then you would have entered the trade at 28.998. You would have exited the trade. Excuse me, the market would have gone all the way up to 29.032, which would have brought your stop loss, being a 0.1% stop loss, would have brought your stop loss to 29.002, which means that you would have made about $5. You would have made like 0.01%. You probably would have broken even with the trading fee. So you would have ended up covering yourself. You wouldn't have ended up losing money on this trade using the stop loss because of the trailing stop loss part of our principles of trading. Now, if that's all that would have happened, then that would have been a wash. But Bitcoin ended up going through this trade again. And so if you ended up going into this trade at 28.998 again, exiting at our eventual exit, you would have made 0.33%. And you would have ended up making profit on that trade. But you also would have gotten out of the trade a little bit too early. So what you may have realized after you exited that trade is, wait a minute, maybe I exited that trade a little bit too early. What should I do? Well, what you could have done is you could have used, and I'll tell you what I could have done also, you could have used the principles of trading to find more entries. If you'll notice here, using the principles of trading and technical analysis, the next ceiling above our ceiling at 29.123 was here at 29.300. We find that level based on our local high that we set here, based on support that we set here. Sideways trading back here in late July, the 29th and the 30th. The high that we set here on the 27th and highs that we set here on the 25th of July. You would have been able to set, with your principles of technical analysis, another level of resistance here at the ceiling. And you would see that Bitcoin was hitting our head on the ceiling. Then, using those principles of TA, you would have said, okay, let's look for the ceiling above that. The ceiling above that is probably 29.5. So then what you could have done is you would have set your next long trade. Again, this is what I would have done if we were trading, let's say, right here. If the market's right here, this is exactly the process I would have gone through to find our next long trade. I'm not setting this up with hindsight in mind. I'm setting this up purely based on our principles. You would have set up the trade. And in fact, you know what? I'll just go ahead and do it without the benefit of being able to see the market. I would have set up the next trade with these two ceilings in mind. The next one being at 29.290. Again, I explained why that level is important. We have all of these levels here. Just going to check chat real quick, make sure there's nothing going on with the internet. Looks like you guys are feeling good. All right, keep going. We would have set up our next ceiling here at 29.290. The ceiling above that would have been 29.526. Again, a high here, a high here, a high here. There's also some testing on this level back here on the 18th of July. Sometimes you want to go pretty far back to figure out where your levels are. Those are our two ceilings. Using our principles of trading, we set up our entry right above the next ceiling and our exit right below the ceiling after. Again, each of these we're calling ceilings because they are above us. So we would have set up a long trade like this. Again, I'm not using the benefit of hindsight here. I have used the replay tool, so I'm hiding the current market price action. We would have set up our long trade something like this, using these two ceilings. Again, I'll say it again, using nothing but our principles of trading and technical analysis. This is exactly how we set up trades. Would have set up a trade like this, giving it a nice entry right above the floor, right above the next ceiling, put our exit right below the next ceiling after that. That would have given us a 0.68% return. Use a pretty conservative stop loss. Use our principle of a 0.1% trailing stop loss at most. That's a 6x risk to reward. Then, if we run the chart forward, let's see what the market does. Boom. That trade is profitable. And now the market keeps going, so we can talk about what to do with that. But we would have made that trade profitable. So using our principles of technical analysis in the last 24 hours, if you had taken the trade that we showed you on stream yesterday, you would have made 0.33%. If you had used our principles of technical analysis to set up your next trade, you would have made 0.69%. So you're already up 1% on this movement. You're not catching the whole thing because you're trying to get out of the risky biscuits territory. You don't want to be in the market right here because the market could correct and you're just taking unnecessary risk. So don't trade necessarily the whole movement. And then after that, what you can say is, okay, the market is, let's go down to the 15-minute chart here. Let's say the market is right. Yes, let's exit that. Let's say the market is right here. You're saying, okay, it looks like it's going to actually go through and I'm going to fully profit on my trade. Where's the next trade setup that I'm going to put into play? Well, our next ceiling is right here at 29.680. Maybe I'll set a long position right here, our exit right there, and then we'll end up using our stop losses. Again, this is entirely principle. This is entirely principle based. I'm not setting any of this up with what happened in mind. I'm telling you all of this based on the principles of trading that we've taught and talked about for so long. We would set up our next trade above this level. We're not in the trade right around the level because that's where the market's going to trade sideways. Don't bother. Try and catch the breakouts. Set up a trade here. And then we say, look, this thing's going parabolic. Where's our next ceiling after that? It's 30K. So we're going to set up a long right here. We're going to end up putting our stop right there. We're going to our exit right there. Stop right here. Not the exact numbers we would use. We'd obviously be a little bit more detailed on this, but we'd kind of go in the trade and get out right around the floors. If we run the market forward, Bitcoin runs through all of those trades and you profit on every single one of them. Using the principles of trading, starting first with the trade that I showed you and I set up with the principles of trading yesterday, you would have made... I'm just teaching you guys why the principles of trading are so valuable and why they're going to make you money if you're a trader. You would have made 0.33%. Let's just keep some math in our head. 33 plus, let's see. I'll try and be as specific as I can so I don't make this look better than it is. I want to be as honest as possible. We'd say 0.7%, so we're at 1.03% return. Then this trade would have made you 0.38, so 1.01 we said. 0.38 would be 1.39% X return. And then using this entry right over here, and exit right there, 0.95, so I've kind of lost track, but it's about 2.25%. So you wouldn't have been in the trade the entire time, and it would have taken 4 separate trades to go through that whole ladder. But as you notice, you would have been out of the trade around this sideways action because you don't want to be in the market in the sideways action. There's no point in being in the market right here. Get out of the market, remove the risk. When you're trading sideways, there's a risk of the market reversal happening. You want to be in the trade when major movements are going on. Using the principles of trading, if you had 100 grand invested, or let's use a number that you guys might, that maybe more people would have, because $100,000 is quite a lot of money. Let's say you're using $1,000. If you had have taken those trades yesterday, you would have made probably about $22. If you're using $10,000 yesterday using those trades I just showed you, using the principles of trading in one day, you would have made 2.25%, and you would have been able to make on $10,000, $225. So I'm very excited to share with you the principles of trading because I do believe that they are going to help you generate revenue. Tell me if you guys think that is helpful. I'm just going to go ahead and run a poll. Do you find these principles of trading helpful? Just yes or no. Let's just ask. Let's see if you guys enjoy this because I want you guys to really know the best way to trade and profit in the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. If you're enjoying today's stream, I want you to do a couple of things. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content because we got a lot more coming. I love coming here on Coffee and Crypto and talking about the principles of trading and talking about how to move forward in the cryptocurrency markets. Thank you guys so very much. Let me just see what's going on in chat for a second. Morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great day. We've got 18 votes in so far. 94% of you guys saying these principles of trading are helpful. 95% of you guys are saying they're helpful. Then I'm also going to run a poll after that and ask if the 3 Ps are helpful. And we're going to run through those right now. Again, it is my desire to look at the cryptocurrency market through principles. I don't want to have to go into an investment or a trade and say, I have to make up how I'm going to make money in this market every single time. What I want to do is I want to look at the market and I want to say, I'm going to apply this set of principles, I'm going to apply this plan, and I'm going to run it over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm going to make money, and I'm going to remove the thinking from every trade. I'm going to do the thinking on the front end, set up myself a system that I run through, and then I'm able to profit with that. I'm very excited about everything that's going on in crypto, and I'm very excited that you guys could be here. 24 votes, 92% of you guys are saying these principles of trading are helpful. Now, we are having some discussion in chat about something very, very interesting, and that would be the Litecoin halving. The Litecoin halving is taking place relatively soon. Litecoin, of course, was developed after Bitcoin. It is a fork of the Bitcoin blockchain, and so therefore it uses more or less identical block features. So, for example, the Bitcoin market has a halving every 4 years, so does Litecoin. The Bitcoin halving takes it from 50 to 25 to 12.5 to 6.5, and the next Bitcoin halving will take Bitcoin down to 3.125 Bitcoin per block every 10 minutes. Litecoin is coming down to 6.25 because Litecoin was forked about 3 to 5 years after Bitcoin was created, so it's a little bit behind on its halving cycle. Litecoin also has 4 times the circulating supply of Bitcoin and 1/4 of the block time. The idea with Litecoin was that it'd be Bitcoin but better because the transactions can happen quicker and it's more fractional because there's 4 times as many. That theory hasn't really played out so well because Litecoin has not been able to keep up with Bitcoin. Litecoin, just so you know, is my very first investment. The first thing I bought in crypto was in August. I think it was August like 5th or something of, so it's coming up on 6 years in a couple days since I bought my first cryptocurrency. I bought 1/4 of a Litecoin at $41.02. The trade cost me like, $10 and 30 cents with the trading fee and everything. So Litecoin holds a special place in my heart. I'm not trying to bash on Litecoin. It actually kind of hurts me to tell you this, but it's not something that I'm invested in right now. And I probably never will be again, because I think Bitcoin has just run so far ahead of it that whatever Litecoin does is going to be hard to get out of the shadow of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the OG. And while Litecoin is the OG altcoin, it just doesn't have enough differentiation from Bitcoin to really be something that I think is going to take off. So I'm not personally invested in it. But as you guys have been saying in chat, the Litecoin halving is today, Wednesday, August the 2nd, and it is currently trading at $89.88. And just to give you kind of a perspective on why I'm not an investor in Litecoin anymore, is I bought it at $41.02. It's doubled since that point. When I got into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was trading at $2,900. Now Bitcoin's trading at $29,000. Bitcoin has increased by an order of magnitude in the 6 years since I joined the market. Litecoin currently is only trading at double. It's not an investment that I would personally take. If I'm going to take a cryptocurrency investment, I want an investment that's going to bring high rate of return for many years consistently. And so far, there's only a couple of cryptocurrencies that meet that classification, that have the longevity that I can look back a decade and say, oh, wow, there's a trend here that's worth following. If I look at the Litecoin trend, I say, okay, well, generally speaking, it is more valuable on average than it was. If I look at Litecoin briefly here, and I run let's run a 4-year moving average through it on the monthly chart. So let's go on the monthly chart, run the 50 MA. Let's see if I can find a LTC over USD. Let me see if I can find the oldest LTC, not light, sorry, LTC over USD. See if I can find a very old chart of it. This is market cap. Kraken may have it over USD. Let's see. US dollar, Swiss franc. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Can't find USDT. Let's see, USDT. It does not want to give me Litecoin. Litecoin. Here we go. Coinbase. Sure, let's look at it on Coinbase. That's when the Litecoin market really took off. Let's look at it on Coinbase, and we'll look at our moving averages here. We'll turn a 50 moving average on through it, and you'll just kind of see what I'm talking about. There's a general uptrend. I don't want to knock it. Let's put a 4-year moving average on here. Actually, we'll come down to the weekly chart, and we'll quadruple it. We'll make it a 400 moving average. 1 second, 200. Yep, there we go. This is basically a 4-year moving average on Litecoin. You can see it's kind of generally moving to the upside, but it's nothing that's really just profoundly aggressive. Litecoin's trading at its 4-year average right now. If you apply that same principle to Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin's basically trading as 4-year average, but that 4-year average is moving up aggressively, much more aggressively than it is on Litecoin, and we're above it right now, significantly. We found support on it, and Bitcoin's bouncing off of it. It's a bull market indicator. I'm a lot more excited about Bitcoin than I am Litecoin. So I'm not a hater of Litecoin. Again, very special place in my heart. And by the way, the trade setup, so let's talk about that, because the Litecoin halving is happening today. Litecoin halving countdown. Let me just make sure that we have a plan in place for this, because when a fundamental event takes place, we want to be ready for it. Litecoin halving is expected to take place in 42 minutes. All right, so let's have a plan in place, right? Why not? Why not? Even if it's not an investment that we want to take, we can still have a plan for it, right? So perception, that's pretty easy. There's a halving coming up. Halvings normally lead to rallies. Boom, awesome. Even if we don't believe even if we're not believers enough in an asset fundamentally to want to invest in it, there's still trades that you can make in those assets. I mean, for example, if you shorted Hex 3 years ago, you'd be a millionaire right now. Sorry, I had to. Looking at Litecoin, there is a possibility that you can make a trade here. So let's see what that looks like. For Litecoin, I would say that we kind of need to find some levels to start with. Now, I have not done analysis on Litecoin in many months because I'm not an investor on it. So you're seeing what I'm going to do live here. The first thing that jumps out at me, again, I've not looked at the Litecoin chart on the hourly chart in probably 6 months. So everything you see me do, I just have started looking at it 30 seconds ago. So let's do this together. Litecoin, I can see, has a level right here of resistance that was set recently. It's a double top, so that means it's more than likely important. That's also a level that we set here, $95 relatively recently. It's also basically the shoulder line of this inverse head and shoulders pattern that did end up coming to fruition. Again, I'm noticing all of this live. We saw an inverse head and shoulders pattern form right there, downtrending shoulder line, neckline, I apologize. We ended up moving almost exactly to our price target. That's wonderful. Again, the shoulder line on that inverse head and shoulders pattern was right here at $96. We have resistance that was set here with a head and shoulders pattern that also came to fruition back in June at $96. And we also see a near local high here Going back to May, looking back throughout history, $96 to $100 seems like a pretty solid range that Litecoin has traded at. So that's a level that we're going to want to pay attention to. That is a ceiling that will probably be relevant in Litecoin over the next little while. Another level that seems to be important right now, again, I'm noticing all of this live, is $93 to $94. Let's call it $94 exactly, 94 even. 94 even is a local high that we set very recently before this drop. There's probably a drop going into the halving. There is a level right here that we used as resistance, and it's also some trading here. Have a feeling that VRVP is going to tell us something. VRVP, look at that. That is gut feeling right there, guys. When I teach gut feeling, that's what I'm talking about. I said, you know what? I have a feeling VRVP is going to say something. Look at that. That's a valley right there. That means it's important. The other valley I notice is right here at $90, and that level just so happens to be important as well because we can see we've bottomed out over and over and over again and topped out over and over and over again on Litecoin. Boom. I've got 6 years of experience in technical analysis. I do it every single day, and so in about a minute, I was able to find our next 3 levels of resistance. If the Litecoin halving sends us through a rally, these are the things that I would do. First and foremost, I would set up a long position right here, and I'd set up a long position right here. Let's go ahead and make those more specific. Those are our ceilings. We're going to use the principles of trading to set up ways that we could go about trading this, and then we'll see if this is profitable tomorrow. We'll just go ahead and set up our trades right here, and then our next ceiling we'll look for in a minute. I'm going to set up 3 trades because there is a possibility that Litecoin just absolutely moonshots on the halving. You know, it's probably one of the biggest pieces of news that Litecoin has seen in a while and will see for a while. So I'm also going to set up a level of resistance right there. I see it as the shoulder line. It's also, you guessed it, a valley. So that's going to be our next ceiling. Principles of trading in action. That's going to give me 3. I'm going to set up 3 because I'm anticipating that there's a possibility for a huge breakout. So I want to have a plan in place in case that occurs. One of our core values here is be prepared. Just like the scouts say, we want to be prepared. Be prepared with your plan so you can produce profitable products. Boom. How about that for some alliteration? If Litecoin goes through a rally, then now we have 3 trades that we could implement. If Litecoin does exactly what Bitcoin did yesterday, and it has a whipsaw formation because the halving takes place in an hour and rallies up here to $100, we are in position to make the most of all of that while getting out of the market in the areas that are risky. And we also remember to use a 0.1% trailing stop loss. So if at any point Litecoin rallies 0.1% and we have to get out of it, then we're able to. If Litecoin then does rally up to $100, we then have a plan in place to make 2% on this trade. We get out for a little bit, 1.7% on this trade. So we're looking at 3.7% so far. Then 2.3% over here. That gives us a, what would that be, a 5% exit? 5%? Did I say 4% or 5%? It'd be a 5% potential for profit on one trade using leverage. Of course, you can make that higher, but remember, a lot of times leverage is going to bring more risk than it will bring rewards, so you do want to be careful with it. I'm excited to tell you that the principles of technical analysis and the principles of trading just gave us a setup for how you could profit if Litecoin goes through a major rally. Now, if Litecoin doesn't go through a major rally and it does drop, here's what I'd say on that. Litecoin has a couple floors that jump out at me. Again, doing all this technical analysis live, have not analyzed this chart in months because I'm not an investor in it. We have a huge inverse head and shoulders pattern here on Litecoin that ended up going through and profiting very well. That level is sitting at $83. If Litecoin drops down here below this uptrending level of support that it's set relatively recently, then we can have a short position right here. We end up having a stop loss right there, target right there, 6x risk to reward ratio. And then if we see our profit, then that'd be about a 4.5% profit. If there is a huge amount of volatility that comes in on Litecoin, then one or both of those trades, one or both of these directions and these trade setups could end up making you profit. If you're looking to trade the profitability, if you're looking to be profitable in the volatility of the post-halving Litecoin market, then that is how I would go about doing it using the principles of trading and technical analysis. Hit the timer. That was about 4 minutes to get 2 trade setups that would make about 5% if Litecoin moves big time in either direction. I hope that was helpful for you guys. All right, 86% of you guys are saying that the principles of trading are helpful out of 70 votes. I also want to go ahead and ask you guys, are the 3 Ps perceive, predict, and plan helpful for your trading? Yes or no? Love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Freedom Advocate said, bye guys, enjoy your week. Have a wonderful day, Freedom Advocate. Above all said, let's see. Can you explain the difference between funding and spot? Where should people keep their altcoins for long term? I'm not so sure that keeping them in long term has much to do with funding. What I would say is that if you're trying to keep your altcoins for long term, I keep them in some kind of cold storage. If you are responsible enough to maintain your own private keys, that's really what I'd say for that. So that's kind of a simple answer, but I would just definitely keep that in mind. If Craig Wright is declared Satoshi by UK courts in January, BTC could be in trouble. Yeah, that's a what phrase should I use for that? Look, courts can make wrong rulings all the time, but fat chance, yeah, that might be what we say there. Don't mean to be too sarcastic, but he's not Satoshi. Eric JT Forensic said, good morning. So much excitement on the way. That's right. Queen said, financial sovereignty or nothing. Love financial sovereignty. Reformed Crypto said, you're good. Thank you. I think you mean the internet. Gabriel Nieves Ramos said, internet is flawless. Thank you. Shorting the heck out of Doge. Haven't looked at Doge in the last little while, but a lot of times that's a good choice. I don't know whether it is right now or not, but normally that's a pretty good option. All right. Got 17 votes. 76% of you guys are saying the 3 Ps are helpful for your trading. That's very exciting. I love being able to provide high quality educational and informational content that is helpful for you guys. Ro? You're going to have to help me pronounce your name. Is it Ro? Rokes? 504 said, good job, Jeb. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shannon Sharp in chat said, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Jay said, hit the like button. I like that advice. That's some good ones. That's some good advice right there. All right. Let's talk about what we're going to do about Bitcoin, though, because we've talked about what we're going to do about Litecoin, but let's talk about Bitcoin. Come on, let's do it. What are we going to do about Bitcoin? Well, it's funny you should ask. We have some trades that we set up earlier in the stream, but let's first go through the 3 Ps. The perception is this: Bitcoin has gone through a whipsaw formation, had a huge drop, huge rally, and by the way, there was also an inverse head and shoulders pattern, in case you didn't catch that formed yesterday in between coffee and cryptos. Price target sent us exactly where we were supposed to. The inverse head and shoulders pattern, if you don't see it, is right here. It's a little bit lopsided, but lopsided in a good direction. The right shoulder is smaller than the left, which indicates that there's bullishness. That's great. The price target would have been measured this way from 28,545 up to 29,300. You extrapolate that pushes us up to about 30,061. Average that out, round that out to 30K, because 30K is a huge level of resistance, and then boom, there you are. We've gone through a major correction, but if we can hold above 29.3, then I perceive that Bitcoin will be beginning a new rally. And some of the things that give me that information are as follows. For example, Lux Algo. If we look at Lux Algo on the hourly chart, we have flipped bullish. We just turn off all of the drawings for a second to make this a little easier to see. Lux Algo has flipped bullish in the first way that I actually feel confident about in a long time. The last time that in the moment I would have felt confident at all about a Lux Algo buy signal on the hourly chart was here on July 3rd. And before that, it was before our major rally when we were sitting at 26. The reason I can feel confident about this is because Trendcatcher has broken aggressively to the upside, and we also had a price target up here at $30,000, and we hit it. We have recently brought in a new sell signal, but we haven't had Trendcatcher confirmation of that. So on the hourly chart, Bitcoin is in a confirmed uptrend on Lux Algo. So I'm excited to tell you that. Also on the 4-hourly chart, a buy signal has come in, and we've seen candle coloring change quite aggressively on the 4-hourly chart. And it's the first time that I've seen the price correspond with the buy signal that made me pretty confident that a major rally could be around the corner. Still want to see more developments. I want to see if Bitcoin can hold at 29K and if we can rally from there. But if we're able, then I am pretty excited about where the market is right now. We also saw a take profit rally up here to $30,000. The market rallied up to $30,000, and so that's going to be helpful. 8-hour chart. Probably not going to see a lot yet. Technically, we never moved into bearish trend catcher, but we do have a buy signal now again, so technically, theoretically, we are now in bullish territory. Daily chart, this isn't going to show up much, but you can see that we are holding firm above the trend catcher on daily chart with a price target still remaining at $31,000 to $33,000. Lux Algo, therefore, is overall bullish, and so are many of the other oscillators. We've seen the hourly chart MACD go through a huge rally, rallying us up to one of the highest levels on MACD that we've seen in a long time. We've not seen MACD hit this level on the hourly chart in over 2 weeks, going back to the 14th of July when the XRP case was settled and Bitcoin rallied aggressively. On fundamental news, this happened purely for technical reasons. We also saw RSI rally all the way up to 78. If you'll remember, RSI is not just an indicator that tells us whether the market's going to go up or down. It's an indicator that tells us who's stronger. That's the actual point of it. It's the relative strength index. Relatively speaking, who's stronger, the bulls or the bears? We did just find out that 14 hours ago, the bulls were significantly stronger than the bears. It's good news. 4-hourly chart. Got a buy signal. RSI overnight jumped above the midline, rallied all the way up to 63, which is one of the highest levels we've seen in a while. And now we're back testing the 14 moving average on RSI. Looking at the daily chart, you can see there's a buy signal about to come in, and we just breached the 14 interval moving average on the daily chart on RSI, poked our head above 50, indicating that the longer term charts are signaling a reversal. Just looking at the daily chart also, which is important because a lot of investors don't do all of this technical analysis, they just look at the daily chart. You can see that we're setting candle bodies higher than we had before. We still haven't rallied above 30K on a candle body and stayed up there, but this is a good sign that a lot of people are going to see, and they're going to say, wow, this is actually starting to look like potentially a reversal. We need to see more confirmation, but maybe. It seems encouraging, right? We saw a big drop on the wick and then a green candlestick. That's typically called a hammer formation, which can be a reversal signal. Hammer formation is a longer wick than a body, but the body is there and the wick is very long to the downside. Hammer formation, bullish reversal signal. Now, we kind of have the opposite on today's candlestick, but we're going to see where that closes later on. My perception is that Bitcoin is in the best position right now that it has been since the 14th of July when the XRP's case was settled and Bitcoin rallied to go into a rally. So the question now becomes, will it? We talk about our prediction. I'm more interested today in the prediction of where Bitcoin would go if it rallied in either direction than I am in predicting which direction it's going to go, if that makes sense. If Bitcoin goes bullish, what price will it go to? If Bitcoin goes bearish, what price will it go to? That's the part of the prediction that I'm going to lean in the more heavily in the direction of right now, because Bitcoin is very much in the decision phase. It's in the conference room with its executive team and it's saying, what direction are we going to move? Metaphorically, of course. And so we're going to have to wait and see a little bit to see what the results of that quote unquote meeting are. But in short, whether it moves to the upside or the downside, because again, predicting which way it goes doesn't really matter all that much. We want to be prepared for where it would go. If Bitcoin goes through a major movement to the upside, we will likely move to at least, and this is where we bring our drawings back, we would likely move to at least $30,000. But we already have 2 trade setups here and 2 predicted levels that are important. So we've actually already got the prediction and the planning phase of the longing complete. If Bitcoin rallies here above 29.5, then we look at an entry like this. And we might even adjust it a little bit, just adjust it right here on the candle wick, just a little tiny bit. Move it a little bit higher based on the more recent information. Move it over here. Move our entry right here. And then we would enter right here. Use that trailing stop loss and be very careful with it. All right, entry something like that. Over here, same deal. We're going to use an exit right up here, right around this level. I'd probably put it right here based on our previous trading on this level. Here, 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 etc. Right there. And then we would set up a trade such as this if we moved up to 30. And then we'd probably set up one more trade, not using the exact numbers, because I'm just trying to give you the idea. We moved above 30, and we start looking at our next level. Where's our next level? Well, to find our next level, we use our eyeballs, and we also use VRVP. VRVP spike right there at 30,300. Boom, we're going to put that level right there because VRVP told us to, and it also lines up with all of this price action right here. That'd be our next ceiling. So then we would just go ahead, and it's very, very simple. We would just go ahead and put ourselves a nice little trade setup right there between those 2 levels. And if we go into the long, and if we go long, then these are our trade setups. And using our principles of trading, again, at all times, using a 0.1% trailing stop loss, because you can get stuck in a wick, and you want to protect yourself as much as you can, or less than 0.1% trailing stop loss. How much you use is up to your discretion. You set up 3 trades like that. Again, those levels, those ceilings are 29,664 on Coinbase. It's going to be a little different on each market. Kind of find it yourself. Next level is going to be 30K. Above that's going to be 30,300. If Bitcoin rallies and it goes through all 3 of these movements, that's 0.33% roughly. We're just kind of get a rough idea. Roughly 1%. And then this over here is roughly 0.8%. So you're roughly looking at 2.1% in returns if Bitcoin rallies to 30,300. If it goes above that, you just keep using those principles of trading, keep setting up trades, and you're going to be fine. Now, we have our floors down here. We have 29,109. We've already found that before. And then 28,972. We're going to look at this and see, is there any reason to change this? And I'd say there probably is. Let's move this floor up a little bit to meet our level right here. We're going to move this long because it's not a long anymore. It'd be a short. And if we need to go through the drop, then we put a short trade right here. Stop loss, something like this, then boom. There you go. Very simple. And then if you want, what I would do, again, please don't just copy my trades. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to give you specific investment advice. The purpose of what I'm doing here is to teach, not to give investment advice. Then you have a short like that. Boom. There you go. You see how simple that is. You just set up your trades for if it goes up and if it goes down. And if it goes up, use that plan. If it goes down, use that plan. And then we also have this short trade over here that I still think is relevant, so I'll just move it forward somewhere right around here. Again, not giving you the exact numbers because I want to teach the principle, not just give you trades. I'm not trying to be somebody that you copy trade from. And then there you go. You have those trade setups. That is how I would go about doing that. Find the next 4 floors above you, the next four floors below you, the next 4 ceilings above you, and set up trades in between them. Get out of the market when you're trading around that resistance, and then profit. Use at all times a 0.1% or lower trailing stop loss, and you're going to be fine. Tell me if that was helpful. I really hope that it was. I thought the 3 Ps are people, processes, and planning. That is the 3 Ps if you were in business. That's true. The 3 Ps during a winter freeze is people, pets, and plants. That's true also. We picked a good name. It's not confusing at all. 75% of you guys said the 3 Ps are helpful for your trading. All right. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. We're running a little bit long because we started a little bit late. Hope you guys have had a wonderful time on stream today. If you did enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. As I said, guys, I've got some exciting announcements coming out over the next couple of weeks, and I'm also going to ask one more poll. Is this format for CNC, Coffee and Crypto, your favorite so far? If not, specify. What is? All right. I want to ask you guys if this is your favorite format, to let me know. And if it's not your favorite format, also let me know. And then what was your favorite format? Because Coffee and Crypto has evolved over the years. And I believe that going through this market, looking through the lens of the 3 Ps, using our principles and teaching financial sovereignty is kind of the groove that I've found with Coffee and Crypto. And I want to refine that and really market that well and share that with the world. But I would love to hear your opinion on whether or not you guys like this format of Coffee and Crypto. It's simple. It gets to the point. You walk away with high quality educational, informational content. And I think you guys are prepared for the day. I'd love to hear you guys. I'd love to hear from you guys if this is a structure for Coffee and Crypto that you're enjoying. So far, there have been 12 votes, and 92% of you guys have said yes, which means only one person has said no. For the one person that said no, feel free to tell me why you said that. I don't know who that is, but I would love to hear why you believe and why the 2 people that have voted no believe that that's not the case. And I'd love any feedback. Josh Raphael said, need more ETH TA. Fair enough. We can probably make that work. All right, so we've got 15 votes. 13 of you guys so far have said this is your favorite format for CNC. As I said, if the answer is no, I would love to hear what you guys would like to see different about this show, because it is my dream, it's my vision, and my purpose here to serve you guys. Again, as I said, high quality educational and informational content. Peppercorn said too much TA. Fair enough. Yes, but more dank memes. All right. We can we can see how we can include some dank memes if we're able to. All right. Queen said, hi, Sarah. She's probably out there watching the stream, so she'll probably see that and say, hi, Queen. All right. As I said, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It is so much fun coming here every morning on Coffee and Crypto. We got 26 votes so far. 78% of you guys are saying yes. Driving accident hit no meant yes. Driving accident. Oh my gosh, please don't be in chat while you're driving. I don't mind you listening to us on the radio, but please don't be looking at your phone while you're driving. By the way, one final thing I want to share with you guys is my journey with coffee. I've finally discovered what I believe I'm going to do with my coffee. You know, this is called Coffee and Crypto. Dave Country Boy said, what's up, everybody? What's up, Dave Country Boy? John Doe called me the Bob Ross of charts. Wow, that is high praise. Thank you. Not sure I deserve that, but I just have to grow my hair out even more and get the afro. Everybody in my nuclear family has curly hair besides me. So I'm the only one that doesn't have curly hair. Our daughter has curly hair. My wife has kind of wavy hair, I guess you'd say. It's technically curly, but and our son has basically, like, he'll have an afro when he's older. But so I'm not going to be Bob Ross, but my son might look like Bob Ross. For reference, I did say this is my favorite CNC. Oh, well, thank you. And again, if it's not, I want to hear the honest feedback. I want to provide the best content that I possibly can. What was I saying? So, my journey with coffee. I just want to kind of get a personal element here and share with you guys my journey with financial sovereignty. There's several different core values that we attempt to maintain, and I'll be totally honest with you, we're not in perfect alignment with every single one of these because there's work that we're still doing, but every area that we see that we're not in perfect alignment with a core value, we are working to correct that. And so just reading you guys our core values as a company really quickly. First and foremost, our core of core values is financial sovereignty. We want to subdue our money and possessions. Second of all, intentionality. I'll just read you the definition that we have here. We deliberately use all of our time, money, and possessions with thoughtful purpose. And I'll explore all of these more so in the future. Righteous living. We seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness and live it out daily. That's coming from Matthew 6:33. No spirit of fear. We believe fear is bondage, and we don't make decisions based on fear. We're not going to be afraid that the market's going to crash. We're not going to be afraid that we're going to miss out. We're not going to believe the lie of fear and discouragement. Number 5, dream mentality. We work hard with a certain hope that a prize is awaiting us if we embark on a journey and walk through that journey correctly. Also, unity. We strive to be unified with each other and to be of one mind, adhering to one set of core values, striving together towards one common vision. The spirit of challenge. We ignore discouragement, and we see challenges as our greatest opportunities. Family. We ensure work and family thrive in mutually beneficial harmony. Pay attention to that phrase in there. Mutually beneficial harmony. It works. We want them to work in a harmonious way and for them to mutually benefit each other. I want my work here at the company to benefit my family. I want my family life to benefit my work here at the company. Marketplace service. I believe that if I help enough of you guys, then I'm not going to have to worry about the money. The money will come. Compound interest, excellence in the extraordinary, be prepared. You've heard about that. And then the one I actually want to talk about, which is sustainability. And so I've realized that coffee is something that I am not necessarily sovereign over. If I drink it every single day, it ends up getting control of me, because if I don't drink it, then you get mind fog and whatnot. So I've decided, you guys have followed my journey on this. I've been working on turning coffee into a maybe once a week kind of thing rather than a daily thing. And I finally realized, based on our core values, I was able to make this decision about how I'm going to go about this. I was able to make a plan in accordance with being prepared to become sovereign over my coffee in a sustainable way, using 3 of our core values to make that decision. That's why having core values is so important. That's why I teach core values. Using 3 core values, I was able to decide whether I was supposed to drink coffee every day and how I was going to not drink coffee every single day, and why I am moving in the direction of not doing that. What I realized is that when I try and go cold turkey off of coffee, it's not like it's, some kind of hard drug or something that it's just horrible to do. You need to go cold turkey on that and just, nope. Coffee is coffee. Look, it's not the worst thing in the world to drink coffee every single day, but I personally don't want to do it. And so I've realized the sustainable way to do is to wean myself off. So I've been drinking a little bit less coffee every single day. And every single day as I drink a little bit less coffee, it gets easier for me to get up out of bed in the morning. And I realized that by going off of coffee, 1, I'll be more sovereign over that area of my life, in accordance with the principle and core value of financial sovereignty. And the sustainable way of going off of it was by doing a little bit at a time. And so you guys can apply that exact same principle in your trading, in your investment, in your personal finances. You want to be sovereign. You want to be in control over every area of your life. Get there in a sustainable way. Put a plan in place to say, over the next month, I'm going to gradually work in that direction. I'm not going to go all in on day 1. Sometimes you have to do that. Again, if you're addicted to a hard drug, get some help. Go to a center. Get off of that today and never do it again. Like, don't wean yourself off of hard drugs if that's an issue. If you're on caffeine, something like that, wean yourself off, right? It's not an addiction that's destroying my life. It just might make me a little bit tired in the morning. So I'm going to wean myself off in a sustainable way, becoming more in control of your office and your finances. Sustainably find a way to gradually grow and get better, because in keeping with the other core value we maintain of compound interest, where we believe that focused, consistent effort over time, led by God, creates incredible results. You're going to be able to create those incredible results because you were prepared to be sovereign. You had a plan to get there in a way that was sustainable, and you can utilize the compound interest of everything in life to gradually grow your life in a way that it'll be 1,000 times better in 10 years than it is right now, rather than just trying to be a completely different person today. Be a better person tomorrow than you are today, and make sure that you are prepared to continue growing. All right, guys, I do have to run because I have a commitment at 11, but I do really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to sign up for Lux Algo if you've not already, because it is a very, very helpful indicator. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.